Tonight's episode is brought to you by the number 3. Why, you ask? You'll see. Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed, why is Max suddenly obsessed with the number 3? What are Jaybone's thoughts on the end of Raw? How are these two things related? All this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed.
This is Max Magius. My co-host would have you believe that kids shouldn't be listening to our show because we use fucking bad language. I say they have to learn sometimes, so put the little shit next to the computer and viewer discretion is advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Yeah, they keep saying now, and I keep forgetting that means like now. Oh, all right,
now,
ladies and gentlemen. What?
We're live.
I mean, it says it right there on my screen, but the camera was in the way. I had to move the camera. It was a whole thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ramblers Unleashed. We are the Ramblers, and we have been unleashed on you, the viewing audience. Dizzy is on special assignment tonight. He's trying to see who was really driving the SUV that hit Stone Cold Steve Austin at the 1999 Survivor Series because he never believed it was Rikishi. Baron is also on special assignment tonight. He is negotiating the return of 999. Let's go ahead and introduce the Ramblers. I want to tell you a quick story after that because Dizzy has asked me to tell more of my wrestling stories on the show. But let's do the introductions first because you got to know who we are before I tell you a story, right? All right. Listen, they keep telling me that I got to be introduced. So I am your resident heel. I'm the guy that reminds Jaybone to take his meds, at least on Tuesday nights.
I just took my meds before the show, by the way.
The rest of the week, I leave that up to Mrs. Jaybone. But I am Max Magius. You can call me the GOAT. All right. Up next is a man who has spent more hours studying TNA and Lucha Underground than any other wrestling fan in the history of pro wrestling. Everybody give it up for Jaybone. All right.
Thank you.
Now, Jaybone, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Now that you got a job again, how hard is it for you to study that much TNA and Lucha Underground?
Well, Lucha Underground is kind of on the back burner because I watched those episodes years ago, but they are replaying them on the YouTube channel for those of you that want that dose of Lucha Underground, and I get notifications on them. I just I'll watch them again sometime. But as far as TNA, that education of TNA never ends.
I'm glad you're able to find the time for all that. And I promise you, I do have a story that you really want to talk about later. But we'll get to it.
Good.
Up next, the other member of the Ramblers crew for Without You over there in the chat. We just be a bunch of idiots talking to each other on a video call. Nobody wants that. So give it up for yourselves over there in the chat. Thank you. You have no idea how much we appreciate you. Now, before we get into everything tonight, let me tell a quick story. We were talking before the show, and you may have noticed that after the All This and More, next on Ramblers Unleashed, you again heard my voice talking about viewer discretion is advised. We went into the music. We all recorded our own viewer discretion is advised PSA to be played on the show. And for the longest time, mine didn't get played. And that's fine, because I understand the reasoning. And while I think there's no such thing as too much Max, that was the reason for it not getting played. I do the tonight on Ramblers Unleashed, so therefore my voice is already in the opening of the show. Let's put other people in there, too much Max. So, how does this relate? So years ago, when I was a manager in pro wrestling, and to be fair, I was also a commissioner for a little while. I was kind of in charge storyline-wise. I was constantly out of the ring. Not because I was like, you know what, I'm going to go out to the ring. But because, number one, I managed for a while, I managed a tag team and a singles wrestler. And then there'd be times I'd just be sent out on my own. And one night, the promoter, who was part of the tag team I was managing, calls me over and says, "Hey, Max, I think you're out there too much." And I'm like, "You're the one that's booking the show. You're the one that's telling me when to go out there. So I've been telling you to scale me back because I think I'm out there too much. And you keep saying, no, I need you for this. I need you for this. And now you're telling me you think I'm out there too much? Are you on something?" So I just want to tell you guys the story of Too Much Max, and the fact that I once had a promoter send me out there too much and then kind of treated it like I was just going out there too much. So I'll tell more stories, I promise. Tonight I want to get into this, and we actually need to start off on a sad note. If you haven't heard the news, the world lost an icon today. Some of us are pretty broken up over it. It didn't matter whether you listened to her music or even agreed with her beliefs. This amazing woman had the charm to make you like her anyway. This first story comes to us from Fightful, of all places, a wrestling website posted a story about this. The wrestling world pays tribute to the legend Dolly Parton. The entertainment world lost the legendary Dolly Parton on Tuesday, today, at the age of 80. Parton was best known for her hits like Islands in the Stream, Jolene, and 9 to 5. But on top of being one of the greatest entertainers of all time, she was also a highly regarded philanthropist and regarded as one of the nicest humans ever. Though she never appeared on wrestling television, she did work with Hulk Hogan on the music video for the song Headlock My Heart, where she actually married Hogan in the video. Being an entertainment icon, many in the wrestling world shared their condolences for Dolly. Ric Flair said, "Dolly, I'm 77, 3 years behind you, and I only hope that people remember me in the same light as you and your greatness, and you're a much bigger star than I ever dreamed of being." Nick Aldis said, "Farewell to one of the last genuine icons." Adam Pearce said, "Godspeed, legend." Nathan Mowry posted, "The type of Southerner I aspire to be. What an angel of a person. You make me proud to be from Tennessee. Rest easy, Dolly." Fightful's own post on the subject on Twitter says Dolly Parton has passed away. Here's the video from September of 1987 for He's Got a Headlock on My Heart featuring Hogan. Mickey James posted, "Heartbroken today. The world lost its light. Dolly Parton was an icon among icons. There isn't a woman in country music. Heck, there isn't a woman chasing a dream in any business who isn't walking a road Dolly paved first. She did it in rhinestones and heels." Ricky Morton posted a longer message. Mick Foley. Kathy Kelly says, "You'll never do a whole lot unless you're brave enough to try," which was a Dolly Parton quote. And listen, when I say that some of us are pretty broken up about it, I can't speak for the whole Ramblers crew, but I can tell you that from our conversation this afternoon about this, it's not just me, but I'm referring to me. I'm pretty upset about this. Dolly was an amazing woman. And we would like to honor this wonderful woman with a 10-bell salute. Her presence in wrestling was minimal, but she was such an impressive icon, we have decided that she deserves the honor of a 10-bell salute. So, Jaybone?
I got you. Let's go.
Thank you, Dolly. You will be missed.
Yeah, that one. That one hits the world hard. I heard it from a friend at work today, and I messaged my wife immediately because I mean I don't get me wrong, I appreciate Dolly, but my wife really loves Dolly, um, and she was like, that really hit her. I gotta say there are a few iconic songs of hers that I do appreciate to this day, and I've heard covers of so many of them, but Jolene I think is my favorite, honestly.
I want to say, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, Pentatonics did an a cappella cover of Jolene with Dolly Parton.
Oh wow,
I'll see if I can find that later.
yeah,
If you're in the Discord, I'll post it there. If you're not in the
great,
Discord, it's down below in the description unless somebody didn't put it there tonight. I didn't check. I don't micromanage, so it should be down there in the description if you want to join. And Jolene is definitely one of my all-time favorite songs.
yeah.
So
And what's crazy is I heard it like probably I don't know. I'm just gonna throw out a number and guess and say it was like 20 between 20 to 25 years ago, and we'll say 20 years ago, and it was covered by some other female country artist, and I didn't realize at the time, just because in my own ignorance I didn't realize it was a Dolly Parton song, but years later found out it was, and I was like, wow. um Although I did hear today finally the duet mix that Motley Crue made, or I think it was, well, I'm guessing it was Nikki Sixx working with Dolly Parton, and I'm guessing it was put on Dolly Parton's recent rock release that she released, because after she went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she's like, well, I got to release a rock record now. So she did some covers or something like that. But one of them was they mixed her vocals in with Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home, and I heard a portion of that today, and I gotta say that's a pretty cool in my book. Motley Crue is one of my favorites, so you put an icon like Dolly Parton in there, singing with Vince. Hey, not bad.
9 to 5, amazing song,
Yeah,
amazing movie. And by the way, welcome in, guys. If you're just getting here,
yes, welcome.
I did thank you at the beginning of the show, but I'll thank you again. We really appreciate having you here. And I'm seeing some of our favorite names over there in the chat. So, but if you're not in the Discord, I did just drop Jolene with Pentatonics and Dolly over in the Discord. It's an amazing performance. And the White Stripes are one of the bands that covered Jolene. And I haven't watched that one, but I heard it was amazing.
Oh, I heard. I saw a post from someone posted that Jack White live tonight in. He was live in London, and for the first time in almost 20 years, he did a cover of Jolene. But I think that's pretty cool. He's a great performer. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's what I need. All right, guys. If you didn't see Raw last night, you really need to. Stephanie McCurr, Becky Lynch, the Judgment Day, Bouncy, Big Cass, the Judgment Day. I feel like Judgment Day popped up quite a bit last night. Braun, Oba, and Heyman. Oh my God, that was such an amazing segment. Braun, Oba, and Heyman. You absolutely should go watch that. Penta and Rey Fenix made their way into the finals for the tournament with Roman Reigns. And the end of the show. Royce Keys returns from his injury with OTM in tow, and they lay out everybody in the main event. The Usos, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, no one was spared. Lucian Price and Bronco Neiman. Bronco Neiman had a very dominant Raw debut. There's only one problem. This completely blew up my theory about Survivor Series. Let's kick off tonight with From the Desk of Max Magius.
Oh.
Some of you might remember a few weeks ago, I said it was going to be the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, and they were going to face off with LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys, and 2 others. And at the time, I speculated maybe Big Cass and Enzo. Well, when Jaybone messaged me the spoiler that OTM and Royce were on Raw, I thought we finally had our final 2 for the anti-Bloodline team. Because I was a little behind. I don't like commercials, so I start Raw late. That is a great movie. I'm not going to read that out loud because I don't know what YouTube's rules. So, Jaybone messaged me the spoiler that OTM and Maurice were on Raw. I thought we had our final 2 for the anti-Bloodline team. Then I got to the main event. Well, that changes things. If the Bloodline are to be in War Games, as they usually are, and let me remind you, in WCW, it was always the 4 Horsemen in War Games. In NXT, it was always the Undisputed Era. It's how this match works. If the Bloodline is to be in War Games, we have a teensy problem with time. We need to resolve this 3-way feud with the Bloodline, OTM, and LA Knight Solo. Or, my nephew and I were talking about this before the show, and he made an interesting suggestion. Now, let me be clear. I don't think that the WWE will actually pull the trigger on this idea, but this is a possibility, and that's what this is about. And I will say also there is precedent for this idea that he brought up. In 2017, at NXT TakeOver War Games, it was the 3-man team of Undisputed Era versus the 3-man team of Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong versus the 3-man team of Sanity. So it's not like we've never done a 3-team War Games before.
There you go.
So you have Fatu or Roman team with the Usos. You have Royce and OTM, and you have LA Knight and Solo Sikoa with, who could that third person be? I'm so glad you asked me that, Javon. It could be Drew McIntyre. Now, before I explain, this is just one possibility.
Oh.
Like I said, the 3v3v3 is low, but we are kind of currently painted in a corner and need to extricate ourselves. We need to resolve the OTM story and build a team for a traditional 5 versus 5 or 4 versus 4. I just don't feel like we have enough time to do both properly. Why Drew? I'm glad you asked that question as well. Drew blames everyone for him not being champ. Everyone. He once tweeted and said that Max Magius bastard is the reason I'm not the champion. It's true. He blames literally everyone. He also said that the chat at Ramblers Unleashed are part of the problem too. So don't believe anything he says.
Well, as long as you're saying that, let's put this rumor to rest, courtesy of Bell's boy. He says, "Hey, Jaybone and Max. So, Max, please confirm if it was you that Royce Keys wanted you to join him in OTM last night on Raw. You care to clear that up?"
So, yes, Royce wanted me to join them. Unfortunately, the powers that be would not approve of it. It was a whole big to-do. I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't tell you any more than that. But that's where we stand. They wouldn't allow it. I'm sorry. I wanted to do it for you guys, and Royce wanted me to do it because it sounded fun. But I digress, and instead I'm here with you guys.
Can we just blame Dizzy?
We can totally blame Dizzy. That's fine. All right. So, like I said, he blames everyone for him not being champ, especially the Bloodline. If you noticed in his promos over the last couple of years, he spends a lot of time. Well, Roman Reigns did this. Jey Uso did this. Why do you guys trust Jey Uso after he did this? He definitely blames the Bloodline for a lot of his problems.
It's true.
He and Royce have had heat on TV when they were on SmackDown. So we know that there's heat there that could be exploited for this story. And while he doesn't necessarily care for Solo, the enemy of my enemy, so to speak. So feasibly, we could get out of this very easily by doing 3 versus 3 versus 3. And Drew is an easy choice to be the third for team for the team LA Knight and Solo Sikoa. While there are other possibilities, and I will gladly entertain your possibility, remember this is fantasy booking. They're probably not going to do the 3 versus 3 versus 3 at a main brand War Games, but I will gladly hear who you think LA Knight and Solo Sikoa's third should be. Please tell us in the comments, tell us in Discord, send us a smoke signal. Don't expect Jaybone to be able to read it. I mean, look at those glasses. But anyway, Jaybone, what are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Number one, I loved the return of Royce Keys. I was not expecting him to come back with friends. I've had my eye on OTM for a bit. Pardon me, I don't remember the names. I will eventually become familiar with their names. But the gentleman on the left of the picture up here has been featured recently on AAA as part of the what the hell is that faction that's been screwing with everyone? No, not the guy's name that passed away was Paragoyo.
That would be fun, but I don't think the WWE will allow that, Bells Boy.
Oh, I can't think of what the hell that. Well, anyways, they've been featuring him on AAA.
Los Perros de Mal.
Thank you, Perros. Yes,
Sorry,
Los
Del
Perros
Mal,
de Mal. Yeah, yeah, Los Perros. Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks, Bells Boy. Yes, absolutely. So he's been part of that. So to see him with OTM on Raw, I mean, wow, the guy's working overtime. That's not a bad thing. He's a beast, and he's they're clocking him in at 6 foot something at 300 pounds. The guy towers over Royce Keys. Maybe not in the picture, but if you watched what he was doing, this tag team is a couple of monsters. So I'm all for this. TV needs more fresh tag teams. I'm digging this. And I honestly, we're talking about Survivor Series. Why not? I've said this once. I'll say it a billion times. I love a good shakeup. Why do we have to have, a team of 5 or 6 against another team of 5 or 6 or whatever the hell it is, like we've done forever and a day for decades? Let's shake things up. Let's keep the teams small and just add one. What the hell? Right? Why not? Yeah, Bronco, here we go. Look at that. Bell's Boy with the win here. Bronco Nemo and Lucien Price. And I don't know which one is which. But anyways, yeah, that's OTM. So thank you. Yeah, I've watched these guys on NXT. They came back recently. I'm guessing one of them was injured. But over the last few months, they've been making a statement. They've been, I don't think they've won any titles, but they're doing great. And the fact that they put these two with Royce Keys, a veteran like Royce Keys, he's automatically thrown into the main event scene with this. Dude, it's hell yeah. Let's go.
And that's not even all the big stuff that happened on Raw. I mean, I listed most of it, but I missed something, and that was the vignette that announced that Lola Vice will be at Raw in Mexico City.
Oh, on the September, was it 14th? I believe it said.
Yeah, 14th.
Yeah. So yeah, she just had one of her last matches on NXT. In fact, her boyfriend, Damian Priest, came out, and this was like something that was like off TV, but I saw footage of it. They kind of did like a a send off for her. He came out, gave her a big hug, had her go back in the ring, and he, kind of like, presented her to the crowd like, hey, give her some flowers. She's moving on to bigger and better things. I'm very excited for her, so.
All right, up next, we got to talk about some major news about ESPN. First, there will be a price increase already.
Great.
And second, we have something that was originally reported by a guy who uses his platform to do basically nothing but praise AEW and crap on the WWE. So he might be wrong, and ESPN says he's wrong. Both of these next two stories come to us from Fightful. Up first, ESPN Unlimited, home of WWE PLEs, to increase the price. ESPN Unlimited, the streaming platform for WWE PLEs, is set to increase its price. ESPN announced the price for a monthly unlimited subscription will go from $29.99 to $31.99, while the annual subscription will increase from $299.99 to $319.99. The price increase will take effect. By the way, this is very short notice. The price increase will take effect on September 17th. So we're talking like 3 weeks out.
Is there a specific pay-per-view that's happening around that time? I'd say when is Survivor Series? I don't know when that's.
Survivor Series isn't until November.
Oh.
Give me a second. I know Heat Wave is this weekend. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Sunday night's main event, which actually airs on Peacock, is on the 6th.
Oh, wait. No, Heat Wave's going to be on CW.
Right. Heat Wave's on CW, but
right.
Sunday night's main event
is on Peacock. Right. Yeah.
And Heat Wave's actually this weekend. So, the first PLE or live event that takes place after the price increase is AAA Worlds Collide. That's Saturday, September 26th. But I believe that's on YouTube. I don't think that's on ESPN, so that's not a worry. The next major PLE is Money in the Bank, and that's in October, almost a month after the price increase. So, from ESPN, to view the latest prices and offers from ESPN Select and Unlimited, click on the plan link below. ESPN Select subscription will be $12.99 a month. Select annual $129.99 a year, but the Select plan does not include WWE PLEs. You have to have the Unlimited, which is going to be going up. These are current, and the prices will change after this. Current's $29.99 a month for Unlimited, $2.99 per year. As of September 17th, the Select goes to $13.99 a month. Annual for $139.99 a year, and then the Unlimited goes to the prices we just talked about, $31.99 a month and $319.99 a year. ESPN Unlimited is the home for all WWE Premium Live events. Peacock, the home of WWE Saturday Night's Main Event, also announced a price increase. We'll talk about that more later, probably next week. But I'm not surprised. I'm a little surprised about how quickly this happened. It's been, a little over a year? WrestlePalooza was September 20th. So it'll be 3 days less than a year that they upped that price.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that's just, I'm not surprised. I knew it was coming eventually. I just didn't think it'd be this soon. Now, before I turn it over to Jaybone to discuss the prices and this other thing, let me bring up this next article real quick, and then we'll let Jaybone share his opinion on all this.
So I was not aware of this. So I just want to quick share this. Bell's Boy says Bronco, who is the guy who was in Pero in AAA, tag team partner in OTM, says Bronco lost to Penta on Saturday in AAA, thus he's out of Perros Del Mal. Oh, So he turned around and now is banging with Royce and Lucy. It's interesting. Okay, so and that's interesting because I mean he was a force to be reckoned with in there, but obviously the opportunity for him to be on Raw with his tag team partner is much better for him. And I mean, I would love to see that group eventually hit Raw and or SmackDown, but that that
Right.
remains to be seen. So, but thank you, Bells Boy. All right, continue. Sorry.
As far as your other comment, Bells Boy, uh, Windbag Russo has said several times in the past that Netflix regrets signing WWE. They're looking forward to the contract ending. They're looking for ways to get out of the contract, stuff like that. And Netflix has said multiple times in the past, there is no truth to what Vince Russo is saying. They have said that they love having WWE as part of their content on their platform. Netflix has, and they may not be saying anything about these most recent rumors, because as far as they're concerned, they have said it repeatedly,
right,
that they have no ill will. They love having Raw on Netflix. So I'm not going to put much stock in those rumors. As far as Disney, trust me, Disney wants Santina Marella as a Disney princess, so they're not upset either.
I was not aware of this. Please tell me that's not your only TNA news.
No, that is definitely not. I already told you we were going to talk about something you really want to talk about.
Thank you, because I was not aware of this Disney princess Santino Marella stuff. But continue.
No, I've talked about this on the show. All right. Before I get back to the second ESPN story, for the longest time, because there were rumors that Disney was going to possibly be in the running to buy WWE back before TKO bought it.
Oh, yeah.
I kept making the joke that if Disney bought WWE, Santina Marella would officially be able to be a Disney princess. I even tweeted Santino and made a comment about, wouldn't it be great if Disney bought the company and that way Santina can be a Disney princess? And he retweeted me. So that is one of my favorite tweets that I ever sent out. Because
nice, that's pretty cool. That's some good acknowledgement there. Yeah,
yeah, I love that. All right, now let's get back to companies denying rumors that are being started.
Yes.
This story also comes from Fightful. ESPN denies report that they are not planning to renew WWE deal when it expires. ESPN denies a report regarding its relationship with WWE. On Tuesday, BJ Bethal, I mentioned him in my intro to these stories, so we're not going to go in depth on him again, reported that ESPN won't be renewing its contract with WWE when the deal expires. The two sides reached a 5-year agreement that began in September of 2025 with the launch of ESPN Unlimited. The report stated the deal faced several problems, including the current media market, culture, and synergy issues between the two companies, and the failure of cable providers to pick up the cost of the app for customers. All WWE premium live events are on the platform. ESPN denied the report, issuing the following statement. This was via PW Insider. There is no truth to the report that we have decided not to renew. They never checked with us before publishing, and had they, we would have told them that was completely false. Yeah, ESPN, you tell him. Tell BJ. The deal does not expire until 2030. Since the start of the deal a year ago, the two brands have seen plenty of crossover with various WWE superstars, often appearing on ESPN programming, and the first hour of PLEs airing on ESPN or ESPN2. Now, I will be honest, is it possible that ESPN is considering not renewing their contract? I'm not going to say that's not possible. Any business that goes into an arrangement with any other business has to consider that possible conclusion at some point. So to say that ESPN has not considered it, that would be a lie. They probably have. Are they serious in that consideration? I'm with ESPN on this. I'm with ESPN on this. I truly believe that they mean what they say and that they do plan to renew. But let me be clear, BJ, you're spreading a rumor 4 years before the end of this deal. The odds of anybody knowing where ESPN stands on renewing their deal this early, unless you're ESPN, is slim to none. I'm going off what they're saying. You're going off what you made up. That's my opinion.
No, there you go. There you go. Oh,
that is high praise right there, by the way.
Yes. So, Mr. Front Row Bill, William Gardner, good evening and welcome. Fellow TNI cohort. BJ was right about TNA. Oh, wait, total BS per usual for that shill preaching to 500K on Max area. There you go.
So, yeah, price increase, not a surprise. That BJ made up a story, not a surprise. Listen, as I was telling Dizzy earlier, this guy is basically a Meltzer wannabe. And if you don't know my feelings on Meltzer by now, I'm not going to repeat it. But
he's one of your favorites, right?
He ranks way up there with She Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh.
Because he is a BS spammer.
Gotcha.
So.
All right.
Let's talk about what pro wrestlers do when their in-ring career is ending or winding down. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in this case, but this next story also comes from Fightful, and it is Natty. I don't want to just be a wrestler in WWE. I want to be writing promos, directing, creating, producing. Natty speaks about potentially becoming more than just an in-ring talent in WWE and about branching out into other roles. Natty Neidhart is one of several wrestlers in WWE who belongs to an iconic wrestling family coming from the legendary Hart family. She has spent the majority of her wrestling career signed to the company, and now she has spoken about working in other roles within WWE. While speaking to Soundsphere magazine in a new interview, Natty spoke about wanting to branch out and work in other roles in WWE. Bully Ray, Bubba Dudley, he said to me, Natty, you've already paid your dues. Why do you keep paying them? And I'm like, because the rent's always due. There's never going to be a moment, as long as I'm actively wrestling, that I'm not going to be paying my dues. I don't want to just be a wrestler in WWE. I want to be everything. I want to be behind the camera. I want to be working with the girls. I want to be working with the guys. I want to be writing promos, directing, creating, producing. I see myself building stories far, far, far beyond what I'm doing in the ring. Natty previously noted in an interview with Fightful that she didn't see herself becoming a producer in the future. Now, before I give my thoughts on the Natty portion of this, I was not here 2 weeks ago when the conversation about paying your dues came up. As we all know, it was about Avery Styles and all these talks about how he didn't pay his dues.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys talked about Big Show at the time, but Big Show said that paying your dues is the veteran's way of scaring you and intimidating you and stuff like that. And let me be honest, paying your dues, I feel, is actually important. But then again, I'm an older guy from the business. I have my opinions. I paid my dues. I did ring crew for a very long time. Set up the chairs, take down the chairs. I sold tickets. I did security. I ran concession. I've booked shows. All of that in addition to when I was manager and when I had a couple of matches. But that doesn't mean that paying your dues falls under the purview of someone like Eric Cannon. And I'm not bad-mouthing Eric Cannon. I'm not meaning to disrespect him. But his opinion is not what counts. The promoter, it's their opinion. Did this person pay their dues while they were working for my company? Eric Cannon doesn't think so, but did that promoter think so? Now, has Natty paid her dues? 10 times over. This woman has done more for this wrestling business than most of today's roster could ever consider doing. And it's not because her contribution has nothing to do with her family, although they instilled that in her. But the contribution is not her family. Her contribution is everything that she's done to help better any wrestler in that ring, whether it was carrying the match, helping another wrestler learn moves, helping them with promos, or what she wants to do in the future, where she works with them more closely. And I hope that she gets to do everything that's on her list. If that's what she wants to do, I'm all for that. She has earned every bit of that. Jaybone?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, there's, I cover a lot of, TNA and such, and me and my crew have had plenty of conversations about this whole partnership with WWE has been a little, lacking lately since like WrestleMania time. Understandably, obviously WWE has their own thing going on, but I'm hoping that it kind of ramps up again sometime soon. It'd be nice to see. They did have some women in the Knockouts TV tournament, but one woman I've wanted to see just get a moment in a few matches or whatever in TNA is Natty. I mean, she's done stuff in NWA as of late over the last couple of years. So it's I think it's just a matter of time. And you're right. She's done more than pay her dues, and she's had great storylines. She's working with the women in NXT now, which in the past has been a sign of, somebody's career is dwindling down. They stuck them in NXT. They're on their way out soon. In this case for Natty, I don't believe that for a second. In the past, there was a definite sign of that. In this case, no. She's obviously, if they don't have much for her on the main roster, then absolutely put her in NXT. Work with the women down there, do a few programs, and help them out. It's not a bad thing at all. Yeah, Natty's building a legendary career. I'm sure some people wish she was on top more, but she has had that moment. So
I'm one of them. I would love to see her have another title run, but
yeah, maybe it's just a matter of time. Who knows?
Maybe. And I would like to address this comment over here. Paying your dues means multiple things.
Yeah.
Part of it is doing the setup and the teardown. Part of it is taking your bumps. I mean, look, one of the parts of paying your dues is understanding that you're probably going to lose a lot of matches starting your career.
Yeah.
Now, statistically speaking, a very small percentage of people start their wrestling career out on the starting level. I'm not talking about like Obafemi coming to Raw. I'm talking about like when I started working for Western States Wrestling and then RMCW and the feds I worked for in Ohio. I mean, you're talking indies. You're talking like most of us don't even have TV deals indie wrestling. Your first few matches, you're definitely going to lose. And if the promoter sees something in you and how you carry yourself, then you may start getting some wins. You may get booked into higher profile stories, but you're going to start out as a jobber. That's the way it is. And that's part of how you pay your dues. Taking those bumps, that's part of it. I went to training one night and I said I wasn't going to tell another story tonight, but all right. I went to training one night. It was Rowdy Knight's birthday. I talked about him. This house is technically in his name. I live here with him and his family. This is my bedroom. I live in the basement. I love it here. It's very nice. I have my privacy. But I went to training one night. It was Rowdy's birthday. So I decided that for Rowdy's birthday, I was going to take chops. I mean, that was the plan. I was going to let them beat me up. Not just chops, but I was going to basically be the punching bag. If you're training them on a body slam, have them pick me up and slam me. I'm a little bigger now than I was then, but don't worry about that. There was one point where one of the trainers made a joke. He's since passed away. Bob, we still miss you today. He didn't make a joke. He said, okay, up next, this is what Max is going to take from all of you. And I looked at him and I said, nope, not doing that. And I acted like I was going to climb out of the ring. I was the one joking. So instead, he decided that everyone was going to line up and give me chops. That's part of how you pay your dues. You take that beating. You do what they tell you during training. There's a reason you have to do what they tell you during training.
Right.
Because if you can't do what they tell you during training, you're not going to be safe in the ring. I'm sorry.
You got to learn. You got to learn how to take the pain, and obviously there's right ways to do it, and there's wrong ways to do it. You know, the wrong way to do it is like how they treated Hogan in the start of his wrestling career, and they broke his freaking leg. But yeah, continue.
I have to be responsible for my safety, but I didn't take it as a challenge. I just wanted to explain real quick. That's all. I have to be responsible for my safety in that ring, but I also have to be responsible for the safety of the others in the match with me, and that includes the referee, because I know that referees are basically supposed to be invisible, but they are at risk too. You know, it doesn't look like it. Wrestling does a really good job of making it look like the only danger they're in is if we turn on them because we're upset with them, or if we accidentally run into them or something, but that's not true. The referee is taking as many risks as everyone else, so I have to be able to protect everybody in that match. That's part of paying your dues. I mean, there are so many, there are multiple aspects that go into it, and the fact of the matter is, again, I believe that the promoter is the final say on whether Avery paid his dues or not. That's my opinion. And I can tell you that based on what I have seen over the years, now, Triple H didn't come to me and say, Natty's paid her dues. Shawn Michaels didn't come to me and say, Natty's paid her dues. Vince McMahon didn't come to me and get the door slammed in his face. But based on my own observations of the things that Natty has done in the time that she has been in wrestling, she's more than paid her dues. Sheamus, here's a really good example. And I'm still upset that Sheamus is leaving, but this is a guy who in WWE, you don't have to do the ring crew stuff. You don't have to set up chairs. You don't have to do any of that when you're a wrestler. They actually pay a group to travel with the shows and set all that up.
Yeah, all the production guys and said, yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, the lighting, the ring, all of it. Everything, yeah.
Sheamus didn't care. Sheamus was like, if these guys are here setting up, I'm here setting up. If these guys are here tearing down, I'm here tearing down. And to me, and Triple H did go on record and say this. He did an interview years ago, and he would say that Sheamus was one of the first guys to show up before setup. He would help. He would do the show. He would stick around. He'd be one of the last guys there doing teardown.
Wow.
And Sheamus is just one of those guys that I highly respect his ethics and his.
Yeah.
And I think it sucks that we haven't seen much utilization of him, because that man has earned his time on the show. That man has earned so much better than what we're getting for him right now. And I appreciated you sharing your thoughts, and I wanted to share mine and give my perspective. That's what that was. I didn't feel challenged in any way. I really wanted to, share what I learned in my time. So
yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We welcome opinions here. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The only opinion that I will not allow is that she who must not be named is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. If you have that opinion, get out of my chat. I'm looking at you, Jaybone.
I will say nothing. No, I.
All right. So.
She's my favorite of all time. No, I honestly, as far as current wrestlers, I would put Charlotte somewhere in the top 3 at least of current this generation women wrestlers. So, but whatever.
That's fair. I won't argue that with you. I think Bayley should be way up there too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And then maybe farther down in the top 10, we could put what's her face. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe in the top 9,000.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. And I agree that she probably is one of the most. You son. I agree that she is one of the most giving females in the industry, even to her own detriment. That's factual. All right, guys. I'm going to move on to the next story because I like Bill's boy and I don't want to be mean. In AEW news, Will Ospreay shares his thoughts on the Kenny Omega match set for All In at Wembley this weekend. Shares his thoughts that the Kenny Omega match was the right choice booking wise. This story comes from Fightful. Will Ospreay says there were discussions to go in a different direction for AEW All In. Feels Omega match was right. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay are set to headline AEW All In at Wembley Stadium on Sunday. The bout was made official after Ospreay won the Owen Hart Foundation men's tournament and Omega captured the AEW title from MJF. Speaking to Scott Fishman of TV Insider, Ospreay was asked about MJF or John Moxley, a central figure to Ospreay's story all year, being his opponent or inserted into the match. There were definitely discussions that it could go into different directions, but I feel like the natural and right choice was to go with myself and Kenny because we've been preaching to the world that this is where the best wrestle. Myself and Kenny are two of the most influential wrestlers in the last decade. I've seen it in terms of our matches and in terms of like the people that have followed in our footsteps. I can see guys like Callum Newman and Nick Wayne, people who took inspiration from Kenny. To be able to put on an all-in main event like that, you look at the all-in main events, you look at MJF and Adam Cole match, that was kind of more humorous, leading in a sporting contest, than a sporting contest. It was more to engage the audience a certain way rather than a full sports contest. It served its purpose. Then it was the crowning of the greatest wrestlers who ever did it, Bryan Danielson against Swerve Strickland, and the story that they told there. Then it was the guts and the drive from Hangman Page to try and strip away Moxley's briefcase to reveal the AEW World Championship. This match, to me, two of the greatest wrestlers of this generation, going head-to-head and finally finding out which one is best. AEW All In took place in Texas last year, but returns to Wembley Stadium, its home for the first 2 years. And I got to be honest, I think that if they added MJF and if they added MJF and who was it that they Moxley. If they added MJF and or Moxley into this match, one, it would feel like a ripoff of SummerSlam when they added Gunther and KO to the number one contenders match. Two, I feel like it's too much for this match. I think Ospreay and Omega really is the right choice here.
Yeah.
Two very talented guys. And I think that they're going to put on a hell of a show at Wembley. Not that I'm watching, but I think that's where I stand on that. That's what I believe. Jaybone?
No, if I'm watching anything from that show, that's absolutely what I'm watching. I'm not sure what the rest of the card is. I've been trying to like at least keep up with some of it lately. But yeah, I love the fact that Kenny Omega and Ospreay are, there's a comment here from Terry. Says, I personally like that Will has changed his style to not just be an acrobat. It has more depth to his style. I think he also did that for the sake of being a little safer in a sense. But yeah, it's absolutely. I do want to, before this goes too far down the way, I do want to address this because just for the sake of letting people know. Crap, where it is from Bill's boy. Okay, here we go. There's a few things he posted in here. Penta won, then turned on Peros and told Daga no, thus on AAA show Ola de Color Heat Wave in Texas. Oh, okay. Oh, Heat Wave is going to be in Texas, 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Or no, wait. Oh, the AAA show is going to be on YouTube, 3 p.m. Eastern. Penta, Ray Phoenix, and Dragon Lee will face Daga, Berto, and Garza Jr. Okay, so that's going to be part of the stuff that's countering the AEW. Bell's Boy then says here AAA show will go on first, then later in the day is in the same venue NXT's Heat Wave will take place. That's interesting. I like that.
And they're both called Heat Wave, by the way. That's what he was pointing. One of the things he pointed out.
Oh, okay. So they're just the one is the Spanish version of Heat Wave. Okay. So yeah. So you got part one, the AAA, and then part two is NXT. The NXT will air on CW, which is I think that's the first like pay-per-view style show that they're airing, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty cool that CW is taking those over. So yeah, both shows are going against All In London. So yeah, that's it's counter programming. Wrestling is going to counter program wrestling. What are you going to do? And then here. Are y'all going to talk about that sports agent who showed up at Sunday's TNA lockdown along with some business types and entertained by TNA Prez Carlos Silva? That I'm not familiar with.
I didn't have that as one of my stories for tonight.
All right. I know you were going to talk about some TNA stuff, but
yeah. And I also think that there is a high possibility that Bell's Boy is right about former New Day showing up at All In to back up Swerve. I think there's a good possibility of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Kofi just filed the trademark on a new name this week. There's a really good why he filed a chance that trademark is.
Shit.
But not all not even all in, so I'm making the executive decision that we're just not going to pick for it. So let's talk some TNA. I know Jaybone really, really wants to talk about some news that broke concerning lockdown. So,
yeah. By the way, lockdown was an absolute phenomenal paper. I'm going to put it in the top rankings for pay-per-view of the year. I mean, yes, I am biased, but it was hands down amazing. Go ahead.
All right. So he wants to talk about some news that broke concerning lockdown. So from Fightful, Kiera Hogan returns to TNA as Ali's tag team partner at Lockdown. Kiera Hogan returns to TNA Wrestling after 5 years. That TNA Lockdown 2026, Ali was supposed to tag with a mystery partner against the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance, and defend the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships inside the steel cage. That mystery partner turned out to be Kiera Hogan, who had previously worked for TNA from 2017 to 2021. She and Ali ended up retaining the titles. In an interview with Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast back in July, Kiera said that she was hoping to return to TNA. Now, I didn't watch the match. I didn't see Lockdown, but J-Bone, your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. That was one of the names that myself and my crew came up with as a possible shoe-in for this appearance that would be tagging with Ali. Now, unfortunately, Rosemary is banged up.
No. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, Kiera Hogan returning. Great to see her back. She looked amazing in the match. And it's a lot of it is, and I'm just going to say it's long-term storytelling, because for those of you that do remember when, now, of course, this was all just storytelling. No one actually died, of course, but when Su Yung killed or unalived, I don't know what the term is everyone's using on YouTube, so pardon me, but did away with Allie years ago, Kiera Hogan was there in the undead realm with Rosemary when it all went down. So the fact that Kiera Hogan is back with Allie while Rosemary's not present, it makes total sense. It's a continuation of the storytelling from years ago. It's great. So
so thanks to Bell's Boy, I looked up this guy's name, and we just did a story on him not too long ago. He had some sort of controversy concerning, I believe, AEW, if I'm not mistaken. So I remember doing the story on it. I'm not going to go into the story about him being there right now.
okay.
I'm gonna monitor the situation because I'm seeing a lot of stuff online that say he's mentally unwell. So I don't want to get into the story about him with TNA until I have time to do a little more research on the subject.
There you go.
But there have been some issues. Joey Janela even took a shot at him recently. So we'll talk about Nick LaPiccolo here soon, but not tonight.
Okay.
All right. So that wasn't the story you wanted to talk about. I'm so sorry, Jaybone. Let's see.
No, I mean there was a lot of stuff that happened at lockdown, but yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
But that wasn't the story that you really wanted to talk about. I'm sorry. Let me try this again. This story comes to us from Fightful as well. Rosemary expected to miss significant time with her injury. Fightful Select reports Rosemary's injury happened at a recent Firestar show. She's expected to miss significant time. Rosemary was scheduled to team with Allie on the July 30th episode of TNA Impact to defend the TNA Knockouts tag team titles against the Elegance brand, but was absent from the match. A rematch was set for TNA Lockdown, which we've already seen, but questions remained on television regarding Rosemary's status. And we now know that she did not make that match, and it was actually Kiera Hogan. And it sounds like this had to have been a pretty bad injury, Jaybone.
There was a picture that went around before any news came out, and it was Rosemary, or AKA Courtney, without the makeup on, and she had crutches, and she had it was either a boot or a cast on her leg, something to that effect. It was like, oh, that's not good. So I don't know like I said, I don't know what the injury is. Obviously if it's it's obviously got to be bad enough that they pulled the trigger on bringing back Kiera Hogan as a tag team partner for now. And I mean, obviously, I'm happy that Kiera Hogan is back, but I don't want it to be at the expense of, is something, that, something's wrong with Rosemary. But either way, it's great that Kiera Hogan's back. She's been missed. Obviously, TNA fans want to see her in a tag team situation with the former Knockouts tag team champion Tasha Steelz to reform the Fire and the Flame. So I think that's going to happen down the line. Obviously, no time soon with everything with the Undead Realm duo, Allie and Kiera going on. But yeah, it sucks for Rosemary. But hopefully she'll be back. Maybe end of the year, next spring, depending on how bad it is. We'll see.
All right. That still wasn't the story you want to talk about, though. All right. I'm going to try this one more time.
All right.
All right. How about this? From Fightful. Avery Styles signs with TNA Wrestling, and I am almost 100% certain I have finally made it to the story that Jaybone wanted to talk about.
That is absolutely one of them. Thank you.
Avery Styles has crossed the line. No, really, that's how the story starts. It says he crossed the line.
Yeah.
The son of AJ Styles, Avery Styles, was announced for the TNA Lockdown event. Avery appeared on the show and announced that he is officially signed with the promotion. Frankie Kazarian came out to congratulate Avery on his signing and warned him that many wrestlers in the back will come after him for various reasons. Kazarian said that Avery can't trust these wrestlers, but he can trust him. AJ Styles worked for TNA from 2002 to 2014. During his tenure, he won multiple championships in TNA, such as the TNA World Championship, the X Division Championship, and more. As for Avery, that's talking about the other story. Listen, I still have not seen a whole lot of this guy yet. I hear a lot about him. Obviously, I heard about the not paying the dues. We already talked about that tonight.
Right.
But when the lockdown news hit, Jaybone blew the roof off in the messenger chat. He was so excited that Avery Styles was announced to be at lockdown. So I just knew that he really wanted to talk about the announcement that Avery Styles is signed. So I chose to save the best for last, and that's why we're talking about this now before we do picks. So I'm going to turn this over to Jaybone because I know he has a lot to say about this.
Yeah. So, number one, when he was announced for lockdown, I did not assume by any means, because like I said, never assume in the world of wrestling. I did not assume by any means that he was actually going to get signed. I'm he's only 19. That's the mind-blowing thing. And it worries me. Look, and I'm not trying to poo-poo this by any means. I'm not trying to be like, oh, they made a mistake. No. I'm glad TNA jumped at the chance to mold this kid like they did for AJ Styles, back 20 plus years ago, and made him the iconic individual, the icon that AJ has become. Now we have his son, Avery Styles, 19, Max, 19 years old. It makes me happy that TNA is investing in the youth movement that is happening right now. You got Jason Hotch, that, well, I was going to say is the international champion, but no, he lost it at lockdown. But still, the fact that he's getting pushed now after, I'll say paying his dues in TNA, he's getting pushed now as, getting moved to the forefront of, major storylines because he is departed from Order 4 now. So you got guys like Jason Hotch, you got Ricky Sosa, you got Leon Slater that cashed in his X Division Championship and used Option C at the end of lockdown, and he is going to headline Bound for Glory against Nick Nemeth, folks. I just got chills saying that. Bound for Glory is really going to be special. The next several weeks, next several months are going to be special because, like I said, they're banking on the youth movement in TNA, and it makes me really excited for it. And to see what a young a young kid like Avery Styles is going to do in TNA. And like like you said, Max, we haven't seen a lot of what this kid has done, but I did see one clip that blew my mind, and I want to share this with you if I haven't shared it already, because I've told a lot of people about this, and so I'm old and I forget who I tell shit to. So, but I saw a clip where, and it was just like watching his father back 20 plus years ago, just like watching AJ Styles. Someone and I'm sorry, I don't remember who the other kid in the match was, but he Irish whipped Avery Styles into the ring barrier. Avery slid underneath the ring barrier, just like his pop did, jumped back up, jumped on top of the ring barrier, and did the famous forearm that his father does onto this other guy. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's just like his dad. So just seeing that little bit and how talented this kid is, I can't wait to see what's next. So
I don't see a lot of TNA. I don't have AMC Plus. We do get the TNA stuff through the YouTube TV stuff that we have, but I'm not signed into that account in here. On my TV, I have to go out to the living room to watch that. So I don't really watch a lot of TNA stuff, but I am looking forward to seeing what Avery can do. I'll have to check some of that out. And I'm a huge fan of some of these next generation guys. I mean, some of them really learned respect for the business. Some of them learned it a little too late. Teddy Hart comes to mind. He was very disrespectful of the business for a while, but he has since apologized. And he's taking it a lot more seriously. Unfortunately, his attitude burned a lot of bridges, and it's been tough going for him to earn that respect back.
no,
But
yeah,
I do enjoy some of the work from these generational wrestlers. Randy Orton is a very good example. Dominic Mysterio is amazing. Natty, obviously, we've talked about her tonight. I look forward to seeing what he can do coming up here in the near future. All right, real quick before we get into picks, let me let you know we are only doing picks for the NXT Heatwave show, not for both Heatwave shows this weekend. Next week when we come back, we will go over our picks and we'll let you know who got it most right. And we will do picks for Sunday night's main event. However,
I believe this is my wife's retort to you talking about Dominic Mysterio. So, but that's all right. That's
as a 20+ year member of the pro wrestling business, I've earned my opinions the hard way. And my opinion is that he actually is very talented in that ring, and he does a damn good job. And he has clearly done his job because Mrs. Jaybone clearly does not like him, which means that he has done the job that was put in front of him. He's made people hate him, and that's another reason to be.
and or his valet partner in crime, Liv Morgan, is also one of my wife's ones that she absolutely despises.
I saw the comment earlier that said Liv Morgan minus 10,000.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
So, but there's another thing we got to go over real quick. And as of right now, I plan to still be here next week to do the show. But next week I'm on overnights. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. But I think the plan is for me to go in closer to midnight to do what I need to do. Maybe 10. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But that's my time. That's not Central Time. If I go in at midnight my time, we'll have zero issues with the show. I'll just be up in time to do the show. But I am on overnights next week. The next problem is in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? One, two. In 3 weeks' time, I will be back in Chicago. Yes, that's right, everybody. Chicago Max is back. In 3 weeks' time, I will be in Chicago for my annual conference. Depending on what time I get done with dinner on Tuesday night, I plan to be here to do the show, even though I will be in Chicago, as I did last year. So don't you worry. You will still get Chicago Max this year on the show. But I just wanted to let you guys know what the schedule looks like. I will let you know more about next week as soon as I know more. But right now, I'm planning on still doing the show before work next week.
I am not familiar with this Chicago Max.
Oh, yeah. That was so much fun. And Dizzy was not a big fan of Chicago Max because Chicago Max was the Max of old. And, you know, Dizzy had a habit of saying, fuck you, Max, to the Max of old.
Oh, I remember that. That goes way back. Hey, do you think Chicago Max will maybe make his way up to Grafton, Wisconsin?
Unfortunately, I am doing all my travel stuff on the company dime while I'm in Chicago, which means that if I leave the hotel, it's got to be someplace close. And okay. I fly in early Monday morning. I'll probably be in around 11 a.m. or so. It's like an hour to the hotel from the airport.
Okay.
I'll get checked into my hotel. I'll run over, get registered I'm registered, but I got to check in for the conference. And after I'm done checking in for the conference, I am basically free on Monday until I go to bed. But unfortunately, I don't think the company is going to let me take a side trip while I'm out there. So. Well,
let me just keep me in tune as far as where you are. Maybe because I'm off on Mondays. Maybe I'll make a little trip down to Chi-Town.
I'm actually going to be in Schaumburg. At the event, the conference is at the Renaissance event center, whatever that's called, and I'm at the Embassy Suites right there by it.
Oh, okay.
So
that's honestly that sounds familiar. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, just hit me up, send me the send me the information on Facebook in the chat. We'll talk more about it later.
Sounds good. And this is an annual trip. It always takes place in September. I will know the dates of next year's conference before I come home from this year's. So, guys, even if something doesn't work out for this year, we might be able to arrange something for next year.
There you go.
And that goes for you guys over in the chat, too. If you guys can't make it this year and you want to meet up next year, we'll talk about it. We'll figure something out. Or we'll try to. All right, guys. Let's get some picks going on, Jaybone.
Sounds good.
Tonight, I think I'll start with you. I'll go to Baron, and then I'll do mine.
Okay.
So, up first, we have a fatal four-way for the NXT title. Tony D'Angelo is defending against a very underrated pro wrestler, in my opinion, Grayson Waller, Montana Cruz, and Zilla Fatu.
Ooh. Well, let me tell you, the hype machine is behind Zilla Fatu. And this honestly is a very hard one to pick because I love what they're doing with Grayson Waller. Yeah, I don't like him being on NXT because I know how talented he is, and I wish he was on the main roster tearing it up. But hey, I'll take it. And honestly, the promo he cut a few weeks ago, talking about, and I'm paraphrasing here, something to the effect of how soft the NXT men's roster is, was pretty damn good. I mean, it was pipe bomb level, honestly. Obviously, Cruz Montana, at least I think I said that right. The former TNA star, of course, my money would be on him, but now all of a sudden, Zilla Fatu shows up, and I think the roof blew off the place a couple weeks ago. Oh, man, this is might be one of the toughest picks. I'm gonna go with Zilla.
All right, up next, the NXT Women's title is on the line. Kendall Gray is the champion, and she is defending against Kehlani Jordan.
Who's the champ again? Say that again.
Kendall Gray is the current champion, and she is defending against Kehlani Jordan.
Oh, I'm going with Kendall Gray. Yeah, absolutely. Kalani Jordan's had some time at the top, and she's also been TNA Knockouts champion. But I'm gonna go with Kendall. I feel like she's in the middle of a nice push here.
All right, this next match kind of bothers me a little bit, and I'm wondering if they're going to apply this equally to the men's side as well at some point. But this next match is a triple threat match. It's a unification match to unify the NXT Women's North American Championship and the WWE Women's Speed Championship. And let me clarify what I mean. Are they going to unify the men's North American and the men's Speed Championship as well? Because if not, I completely disagree with them doing that in this match. However, that's completely beside the point because they are doing that in this match. And that's going to be your Women's North American Championship, Zarya, taking on your Women's Speed Champion, Ren Sinclair, taking on Callie Armstrong.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Armstrong, but my money is on Zarya. I agree with you with the whole speed title thing as far as unification. I don't even know who the men's and then I'm sorry. I don't watch as much NXT as I should. But I don't even know who the men's speed champion is.
Yeah, that's a good question. Give me a second. NXT. They may have actually already. Oh no, Lexis King is the current men's speed champion.
Oh, okay. All right. I think it's just a matter of, how many championships they want. I understand why they put the championship down in NXT, but it is what it is. I don't think it's a knock on anybody in particular that's holding the championship, but yeah, I would definitely go with Zarya. She's a beast. She's my favorite in this situation. Yeah.
All right. Up next, the NXT Men's North American title is on the line. Miles Bourne is defending against Jackson Drake. And before you give your answer, this is one of two matches that Bourne is in at Heatwave on Sunday.
I did see that. That's interesting. He's got his hands full. I'm going to say he's going to take the North American Championship.
You mean that he's going to retain the North American?
Excuse me. Yes, he's going to retain it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Up next, the second Miles Bourne match. Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights defending their tag titles against Vanity Project.
Oh. You know what? I think Vanity Project didn't they recently hold the NXT tag titles? I'm pretty sure they did. So I'm guessing Miles and Tavion recently won those then. So in that case, I'm going to go with Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne.
And yes, Vanity Project lost the titles on August 4th on NXT to Miles and Tavion.
That is interesting. Okay.
So you're saying Miles and Tavion retain?
Yes.
All right, and that brings us to a submission match. Jada Parker is taking on the legend, Natty.
Ooh. Oh, that is interesting. I'm going to go with Jada Parker.
All right. Let's go over Baron's picks real quick, and then we'll do mine.
Okay.
In the four-way for the NXT title, Tony D'Angelo, Grayson Waller, Montana Cruz, Zilla Fatu. Baron has chosen Zilla Fatu. And guys, if you've been here for us doing picks before, you know that if Dizzy and Baron aren't here and they give me their picks and they give me any commentary about their picks, I share that commentary. Unfortunately for you all, Baron gave no commentary. He just dropped his picks to me real quick. So,
okay.
Kendall Gray versus Kaylani Jordan for the NXT Women's title. Baron went with Kendall Gray. In the triple threat for the unification of the Women's North American and the Women's Speed, he went with Zarya. In the NXT North American title match between Miles Bourne and Jackson Drake, Baron went with Miles Bourne. In the tag title match, Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights versus Vanity Project, Baron went with Vanity Project. And for the submission match, Jada Parker versus Natty, Baron chose Jada Parker.
Interesting. All right.
All right, let's go with my picks next. Listen, I see what you guys are seeing. Not that I've seen the promos, but I see what you guys are seeing, and I'm acknowledging the possibility that Zilla wins the title, but I also see the possibility of Grayson Waller winning. I see the possibility of Montana Cruz winning, which is why I'm actually going with Tony D'Angelo on this. I think that Tony D'Angelo is going to retain.
Interesting. All right.
Then we'll see it go to Cruz Montana here soon down the road. And I don't think Zilla is going to have a very long stay on NXT. I'm just going to say that. I think his visit will be very brief.
That is a possibility. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is, like I said, there is an absolute hype machine behind this kid. And I love what they're doing for him because you talk about a kid that's paid his dues. He absolutely has paid his dues. He's been all over the indies. He's had some, pardon the pun, phenomenal matches. And he also, in a sense, paid his dues with society. We've said before, I don't think a lot of people knew that he was on parole. They knew he was in trouble at one point and did some time. He recently he's not on parole anymore. So, which is why WWE pulled the trigger on him when they did. Completely understandable. And of course, I got to throw my 2 cents in on this for TNA purposes. We said this over and over again because he did make an appearance I believe it was last year, Bound for Glory. He showed up with Bishop and Enzo in a 3-man tag against, you're going to have to excuse me, I forget who it was against. But anyways, we were right there saying, oh, TNA, please sign this kid. He wasn't ready at the time. And I completely understand why. There was issues. So he was doing what he could at the time. We know why now. He's in a great place now. So the future's wide open for this kid.
Did you say Bound for Glory?
I thought it was Bound for Glory. It was a Slammiversary last year.
It was Slammiversary last year.
Oh, okay.
It was him, Enzo, and Josh Bishop taking on, and they won, by the way. They defeated Jake Something, Mance Warner, and Steve Macklin.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing. While I say that I could see this going Grayson Waller's way, I don't really mean that. And let me tell you why. I think Grayson Waller is very deserving of having a match like this go his way. I really wish that it would go his way, but I think that he's going to get the short end of the stick no matter what happens in this match. I think that's what WWE is doing. I'm sorry, but I just think that's how they're treating him at this point. Maybe that'll change soon, but right now I think Waller's just in it because he is very popular with the pins. I don't think that they have any intention of letting him win. So
we'll see. I mean, this can go a lot of different ways. It's just we'll see. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, up next we got Kendall Gray versus Kehlani Jordan for the NXT Women's title. I like Kehlani Jordan, and she's been a damn good champion in the past, but I think Kendall Gray is going to retain. I went a different direction on this one than Jaybone and Baron. Zariah versus Ren versus Kali. I actually feel like Ren Sinclair might actually take this, so I'm picking Ren. So,
honestly, it makes sense because I have a feeling. Excuse me. If Zarya does not win this, I have a feeling she's going to be main roster bound sooner rather than later. That's just a guess, but
that did play into my reasoning for Ren taking this. But I think Ren is another one of those that's very underrated right now. She's very good, and I think that I think that they're going to put this on her. I don't think that Miles Bourne is going to win both of his matches on Heatwave. So and he's very talented. He's a great wrestler. I just don't see him winning both. Yeah. I think he's going to win against Jackson Drake and retain the North American title. But I think that he and Tavion Heights are going to lose the titles back to Vanity Project. So I'm picking Vanity Project there.
Okay.
And that brings us to Jada Parker versus Natty in a submission match. And despite the fact that I might be wrong about this match, I'm not going to deny that. For me, this was the easiest match on the card. We already know that Natty wants to help other wrestlers and help them get over and improve at their craft. And I just think that that's what she's going to do in this match. I think that she is tapping out to Jada Parker to help elevate Jada Parker. So Jada Parker winning this is what I've got.
There you go. Yeah, it could be in the process of a major push for her. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jaybone, are we still doing the sticker giveaway?
Yeah. Sounds good. We certainly can.
Do you want to tell them how to be involved in the sticker giveaway?
Nope. I'm just kidding. Oh, dear God. What did Dizzy sign up for? Okay. Anyways, I clicked on Instagram and saw something that was just kind of naughty. Anyways, because Dizzy set it up, so I'm like, hey, whatever. Ramblers are gonna follow what the Ramblers are gonna follow. It was, anyways. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, stickers. If you sub to the Ramblers Unleashed YouTube channel and follow the Ramblers Unleashed in Instagram, the link is in the description, message us and be like, hey, here's proof.
On Instagram.
Yeah, on Instagram. And yeah, message us in Instagram and say, hey, I'm sub to YouTube. I follow you here. I would love one of those great Rambler stickers that you've been talking about for a while. We'll send you some stickers.
Put them right on your car. Everybody will love it.
Yes. Yeah. If you put it on that, stick it on your laptop, put it on your, I don't know, what are the kids these days putting stickers on? I don't even know. But hey, if you like stickers, you like that kind of stuff, you get some free merch from us, and at the same time, you want to help support one of your favorite podcasts that you watch. That link is in the description as well for Spread Shop. There's t-shirts, there's back to school stuff like bags. What were you talking about earlier? Oh yeah, mouse pads. I think there's mouse pads in there too. There's coffee cups, all sorts of stuff with the Ramblers logo on it. Also, the DX tribute with the let me see, did I have this in there? No, I don't think I did. My bad. But anyways, go to the website. You'll see two separate logos in there. You can get some merch and help support one of your favorite podcasts.
All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Baron is still working on getting social media to work with him again. He's not sure what happened to his Twitter account. And if you don't know by now, I refuse to call it by the other name. It is still Twitter. I will always call it Twitter, and that's the way it's going to be. Grandpa, how can they find you?
You can find me on the old Twitter box at Jaybone5150. That's Jaybone 5150. You can also check me out every Thursday night doing all things TNA. We do the live reaction during the Thursday night Impact on AMC on the YouTube, Total Nonstop Impact, followed by the review from me and my crew. So yeah, go check out Total Nonstop Impact, hosted by yours truly and my friends.
You can find me right here at Max Magius, as it says here at the bottom of my screen. You can follow the podcast at the Ramblers Pod. Find us on Facebook. Join the Discord. The link is down below. Please do. In Demand Indie, Rob Ryzin's book, also linked down there. Please feel free to jump over to Amazon and pick that up. I have my copy here somewhere. It is in my room. I highly recommend it, especially if you're trying to get into this business. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please hit that like button down there. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing, which if you subscribe and then jump over to the Instagram, which is also linked down below, you can get that sticker. But you got to do all the steps. If you are consider subscribing, hit that bell if you want to be notified when we're going to go live. And if you haven't joined the Discord, remember I dropped Pentatonics singing Jolene with Dolly Parton over there. Come on over, check us out on Discord, check out that video. Get out there, watch some wrestling. I recommend you go back and watch NXT TakeOver War Games 2017. Check out the three-way War Games match.
There you go. Absolutely. And while you're at it, go check out TNA's Lockdown from this past weekend. You will not be sorry. And then catch me this Thursday, and we'll be covering a live episode of TNA. Who knows what's going to happen? Thanks for watching, folks.